Hello dear students, this is Preeti Agrawal from Atal Bihari Vajpayee English Medium School, your Maths and Science teacher. Students, in the earlier video, we have studied about nutritional requirement of animals, various modes of taking food, and also we have studied about digestion and utilization of food by body. Now, in this video, we will study about digestion in human beings. We will study about what happens to the food in different parts of alimentary canal. So let us begin. Are you ready for the video? Come on, let's see further. Here, first we will study about mouth and buccal cavity. You can see the picture of mouth and buccal cavity? Okay, right? This mouth and buccal cavity includes teeth, tongue and salivary glands. Alright. So now what happens over here? We will see that. In the mouth, the food is taken into the body through the mouth. The process of taking food into the body is called ingestion. Now this is your definition for ingestion. That is, the process of taking food into the body is called ingestion. Now what we will do further? We chew the food with our teeth and break it down into smaller pieces. Our mouth has the salivary glands which secretes saliva. Saliva means thuk, right? Saliva breaks down starch into sugars. Now what do you understand by this? That saliva breaks down the starch into sugars? Yes, that means the digestion of food starts in the stomach itself. That is the digestion of carbohydrates, that is starch. It starts in the mouth itself and then the tongue mixes saliva with the food during chewing and helps in swallowing food. Right? This partially digested food then passes through esophagus. Clear everybody? So did you understand that what happens in buccal cavity in mouth? What are the functions of mouth and buccal cavity? Right? We have learned that in the mouth itself the carbohydrates are digested into what? Into sugars. Okay. So now we will move forward. Now here is an experiment to show the effect of saliva in starch. As we have studied that digestion of carbohydrates, that is starch, begins in mouth itself. So here we have taken two test tubes and labeled them as test tube A and test tube B. In test tube A, we have taken boiled rice and 3 to 5 ml of water, whereas in test tube B, we have taken boiled and chewed rice. The rice which are boiled, to them we have chewed and then taken into the test tube, right? And then we have added 3 to 5 ml of water. After that, you have to add 3 to 5 drops of iodine solution. Why iodine solution? Yes, we have already studied in class 6 that iodine solution is used to test the presence of starch in the food. Right? So we will add 3 to 5 drops of iodine solution. So now what you will see? You will see that test tube A will show blue-black color, whereas test tube B will not show blue-black color. Why? Why is it happening? Because there is presence of starch in rice in test tube A, but in test tube B, as the rice are chewed in the mouth, the starch present in rice has been converted into what? Yes, you are correct. The starch is converted into simple sugar. So, when the starch is converted into sugar, then what will happen? There is no starch present in test tube B. So, when there is no starch, then what will happen? Yes, it will not show blue-black color. Is it clear, everybody? Okay. Then we will move forward. Now, we will see the second compartment of alimentary canal. And which is the second compartment? Yes, that is food pipe, or you can also call it as esophagus. Right? Now, what happens over here? The food pipe starts from the neck region and it runs until the chest area in animals. Here the food moves in downward direction in the food pipe. So the food which we have taken in our mouth, it will go down where? With the help of food pipe into the chest area and then from the chest area to the stomach. The partially digested food moves through the food pipe and reach the stomach. You can see in the picture, it is shown very clearly, right? Okay. Now, let's think, right? What is that? Now, before we move ahead, right, we will learn about hiccups. Now, you might have experienced hiccups. What is hiccups? That is hitchkey. So, why does it happens? This happens when the food particles enter the windpipe. The windpipe runs adjacent to food pipe. As you can see in the picture, that the windpipe and the food pipe are adjacent to each other, right? So, when we swallow the food, a flap-like valve closes the passage of the windpipe and guides the food into the food pipe, right? So, the food instead of entering the food pipe has entered into the windpipe. So, what will happen? Yes, right? You will experience hiccups, right? So, if we are talking while eating, food particles enter the windpipe and we feel choked and we get hiccups or cough. Is it clear, everybody? Right? So, one should never talk while we are eating. Clear? Okay. Now the next compartment, and that is stomach. Now, how is stomach and what are the functions of the stomach? We will see that, right? Now, stomach is the widest part of the alimentary canal. The stomach receives food from food pipe. And what is the another name of food pipe? Do you remember that? Yes, it is esophagus. Its other end is connected to small intestine. Whose other end is connected to small intestine? It is stomach. Stomach one end is connected to food pipe and the lower end, the other end is connected with the small intestine. The stomach's inner linings produces three things. And which are those three things? That is mucus, hydrochloric acid and digestive juices. So now we will see that what are the role of these three things, right? So we will start. The first one is mucus. What does it do? It protects the stomach lining, right? Then hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid kills the bacteria that enters along with the food. And what it does by doing so? It makes the medium acidic in the stomach and thus helps the digestive juices to act. So what is the role of digestive juices? Digestive juices breaks down the proteins present in the food into the simpler substances, right? So we have learned earlier in case of mouth, what was happening in the mouth? In mouth, the carbohydrates, that is starch, were broken down into simple sugars, whereas in the small intestine, in the stomach, right, the proteins are broken down into what? That is, they are broken down into starch. So will you remember this? Right? In mouth, carbohydrates get converted into simple sugars, and in stomach, proteins get converted into, yes, will you say that? Proteins will get converted into simple substances, right? Okay. Now we will study what happens in small intestine, right? Now how is small intestine? It is highly coiled and it is 7.5 meter long. The inner lining of the intestine secretes some digestive juices. Also, liver and pancreas release digestive juices into the small intestine. Clear? Right? You can see the picture of small intestine. Okay. Now the most important point, that is the complete digestion of food takes place in small intestine. You have to remember this point, right? What is that? The complete digestion of food takes place in small intestine. The small intestine breaks the carbohydrates into glucose, fats into fatty acids, and proteins into amino acids, right? So you will remember this thing, right? That carbohydrates are broken down into glucose, fats into fatty acids, and proteins into amino acids, right? Is it clear? So shall we move forward? Okay. Now we have studied that liver and pancreas are digestive glands which secrete digestive juices, right? So let us study about them in detail. So first is liver. How is liver? Liver is a reddish brown gland and it is the largest gland in the body. It secretes bile juice and this bile juice is then stored into the gallbladder. What is the function of this bile juice? This bile juice plays an important role in the digestion of fats, right? So now we will look at the pancreas. How are pancreas? Pancreas are large cream colored gland, right? They may be somewhat yellowish also in color. Clear? And where they are located? They are located just below the stomach. These pancreas secrete pancreatic juice and the pancreatic juice acts on carbohydrates, fats and proteins and change them into the simpler substances. Clear? Okay. Now we will see this picture. You can pause the video and see the picture carefully. You can observe each and every organ clearly. Right? You can see the gallbladder, you can see the liver, you can see the pancreas. Okay. Now we will talk about absorption of food in small intestine. As we know that food is completely digested in small intestine, so now we will talk about absorption of food. In small intestine, that is the inner walls of small intestine have thousands of fingers-like outgrowths which are called as villi. The villi increases the surface area for absorption of the digested food. We have learned earlier that complete digestion of food occurs in small intestine and their absorption is done with the help of villi. The surface of the villi absorbs the digested food materials. This process by which digested food is absorbed in the blood vessels from small intestine is called absorption. So this is the definition of absorption, that is the process by which digested food is absorbed in the blood vessels from small intestine is called absorption. Clear? Now these absorbed substances are transported via the blood vessels to the different organs of the body where they are used to build complex substances such as proteins required by our body. And this process, this entire process, that is called as assimilation, right? So is it understood by everybody? Okay. Now let's move ahead, right? Now after completion of digestion and absorption and food in small intestine, right, we will study about large intestine. All right. Okay. Now in the end, any fecal material, right, any food that is left undigested, what will happen to that? It will pass through the small intestine and it will enter the large intestine. Clear? Now how is large intestine? Large intestine is a tube-like structure. It is wider and shorter than small intestine and it is 1.5 meter long. What is the function? The main function of large intestine is to absorb water and salt from the undigested food, right? And then what will happen to the remaining waste? The rest of the waste, that is the undigested food, then will pass to the rectum, right? This rectum holds the undigested food until the elimination. Clear everybody, right? So undigested food goes to large intestine. Large intestine will absorb water and salts from that undigested food, and then the remaining food will go to the rectum, and this rectum will store this food until it is eliminated out of our body in the form of stool. Clear everybody? I hope it is understood. It is very simple, right? Now the last part, that is the anus. The fecal material is removed through anus from time to time. This process by which the waste undigested food get out of the body through the anus is called as egestion. Right? Have you understood? Right? The undigested food which was that rectum was holding, right? This rectum will push that part to the anus, and then anus will carry out the process of egestion, right? And that egestion process in simple language is what it is said, that is passing of the stool of our body. Clear? Okay. So now what we have understood, that we have understood the main steps of nutrition in human beings. It starts from egestion, then it goes to digestion. Once the digestion is completed, the digested food is absorbed by the villi of the small intestine. Then occurs assimilation, and the final stage is of egestion of undigested food from the human body, right? So we have completely understood the digestion process in human beings. I hope it was easy and understandable. Clear? Okay. Now this is all for today's session. This is Preeti Agrawal from Atal Bihari Vajpayee English Medium Primary School, your maths and science teacher. Hope you have enjoyed studying. So keep learning and keep practicing. Thank you.